Alright, cool. Looks like everything is good. Get stuff started here. Give people time to get into the stream. In the meantime, I am going to... Do I have a pirate hat on? I do have a pirate... Why do I have a pirate hat on? Yeah. No. No pirate hat. Alright. Let's give some people some time to get into the stream. Adjust some stuff here on my end. It has been quite a while since I have been able to stream here on YouTube. For those of you who are catching this a little bit later or watching now, I was streaming on YouTube a pretty good amount, and the short version is I got a copyright strike for something really stupid, and along with the copyright strike, I was unable to stream for 3 months. So today happens to be the day that ban, I suppose, is lifted, so I can officially stream here on YouTube again, which is great. And yeah, I'm excited to be back. It also happens to be the day that they dropped a ton of details about patch 8.2. So the plan for this live stream is just kind of mess around, do an Ask Me Anything session. There have been a lot of new subscribers over the past 3 months, so I'd love to take the opportunity to answer any questions anybody has. And also, I'm going to get talking about 8.2 and the changes that are coming up at some point during the stream here as well. So, interested to see what those of you who are still playing World of Warcraft think about all the changes in 8.2. If you think it's going to save World of Warcraft, which is something I saw a lot of in the comments at the stream today. So initially here, like I said, I'm just gonna kind of putz around a little bit on the rogue, give some people time to tune into the stream if they want to, and once we've got a couple of viewers here, we'll kick things off and start talking about some stuff. So at the moment, really all I'm trying to do is get characters to max level and get them up to about 300 gear score or so, because that's about where I want to have them when I do my guides. And my rogue is the only one I have at max level who's not quite at 300 yet. So, and I believe I am outlaw, so that is the spec I'm going to want to look at here for these rewards. Oh, we have an assault going on. Oh, could go do that. I'll go do that on my alts instead. Take advantage of that being here. Yeah, let's do that. Alright. Oh, I'll do the clothies. I've got all my heritage armor going on the clothies, so that is going to be quite nice. Do the mage first. I'm kind of worried. I'm going to do this in war mode, I think, if the bonus is high enough, but I'm kind of worried. Cloth classes in general are the ones that I play the least and feel the least comfortable on. So I'm pretty sure if you take that and you throw me into a PvP situation, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get stomped quite a bit. So 15%, I gotta go all the way back to Storm. You know what? I'm going to keep it casual here. So we are going over to Drustvar. Let's see. Nothing. Gotta take the boat then. Well, I'm definitely going to be a little bit rusty here on the live stream, but, you know, it is what it is. About 3 months, 3 months of not doing it will do that to you. Alright, so let's see. We want to get as close as we can. We're going to go over here to Fallhaven, take a nice boat ride out. And while we're doing that, let's talk 8.2. So let's see here. I'm going to go through. I am just looking through the Wowhead post here. I'm going to link it in chat. Boom, there we go. So you can reference what I'm looking at here. This is just the kind of like live blog of the stream today. So if you weren't aware, senior game designer Jeremy Fiesel hosted a stream earlier today where he basically went through and talked about all the major features that are happening in patch 8.2. And so this particular article that I linked, it kind of goes through and has all the different topics, and we're going to touch on those. And then also, you know, there's some more in-depth detail about these, but I kind of want to hit the general notes, you know, here before I kind of like deep dive into anything in particular. So I'm just going to go down the page in the order that they have them here, just to keep things simple, and so I don't lose, you know, my place as I'm doing things out here in the open world. So the first thing here is they talked about Nazjatar. So we already knew that Nazjatar was going to be in patch 8.2. It's a zone that was underwater and is being raised up above the water, mostly, in patch 8.2 by Queen Ashara. And I think most of what they told us about Nazjatar today in the stream, we already knew. So, you're going to have combat allies. Each day you can take out one of 3 different allies you have available. The Horde and the Alliance are going to be working with 2 different groups that hate the Naga and building reputation with them, and that's where your combat allies are going to come from. One thing that they kind of mentioned that I don't think we'd heard a lot about before was that you're going to be able to build up bases so that you can attack back against the Naga. So, you know, is what it is. For leveling up your combat allies, it says you're going to be able to gain experience by completing world quests, woo, or killing rare spawns, or doing their own daily quest, which will unlock when you take that particular character out. There are 30 levels for each combat ally, and leveling them up will unlock new abilities and unlock other cosmetic rewards for you. So this has been kind of a theme throughout 8.2, is this incorporation of more cosmetic rewards. And I think it's interesting, but I kind of feel like we're at a point in World of Warcraft where they have to do more than, you know, throw more cosmetic rewards at us, right? Like, cosmetic rewards are definitely cool, but cosmetic rewards are not gameplay. And I think that gameplay is kind of currently where we're lacking in WoW right now, and it's the things that they need to improve upon. I don't think I can pick up this flight path because I haven't done the quest line over there yet on this character. Oh, look. So we are going to head over here. Looks like we gotta take the path this way. So, cosmetic rewards, new abilities. They didn't really show too much about what those abilities were, what they would do. They did say that Nazjatar is going to have an emissary, but all the world quests are themed around Nazjatar and Ashara, so I assume that's them trying to say, like, hey, it's not going to be like the ones that you currently have. I imagine they still will be. One thing they mentioned about the rares, both in Nazjatar and Mechagon, is that they're going to function like Timeless Isle rares. Timeless Isle rares were really cool in the sense that a lot of them were actually rare, so they didn't just constantly respawn every minute. A lot of them had, you know, coveted drops that you could get, mainly mounts for the most part. And usually there was some kind of currency or something that was associated with them as well. Alright. Let's go ahead and take out Mr. Swift Arrow here. I gotta remember how to play mage. It's been a minute. Give me some crits. No crits for me. I gotta make them myself. Alright. I should have checked and seen how much of a bar I went up there. I'm at 62 right now. Alright, what's next? We got acquire azurite. Alright, let's do that. But they also said that, you know, working on that zone would let you bolster up defenses. That's kind of the thing, is bolstering your defenses to strike back at the Naga there. Wow, that dude's got a lot of health. And die. Oh, that sucks. If I can ice block my way to safety here. Thank you, other mage, for pulling that off of me. I appreciate that. Alright. Conjure up some food here. I feel like I'm gonna need it. And they also said there's going to be some daily quests that are a little more traditional. Just going to kind of single target this guy down. There we go. Alright. So, Nazjatar in general, in my opinion, it sounds kind of boring, if I'm being honest. It sounds like, you know, the stereotypical next zone, so it'll be nice to have a new landmass, but I think that's probably going to be about the only real appealing thing about it. It doesn't sound like they're trying to do too much that is original or new. And that's, you know, that's fine. They've got to kind of have that traditional thing going on. But I don't particularly think that the Nazjatar content is going to be for me. Alright, we're done with this one. So that brings us to the next thing here, which is the Eternal Palace raid. So we know that's going to be an 8-boss raid. That's going to be coming out not right with the patch. It's going to be coming out sometime later after the patch. It's going to be released simultaneously with the Mechagon Mega Dungeon. So that stuff is time gated a little bit. I don't think that's too big of a deal. I think time gating the raids and the big dungeon like that is fine. It's nice that they are going to come out simultaneously, so if you're not crazy about raiding, you can work on the Mega Dungeon instead. And we also know that in the in the raid we're going to fight Ashara, but she's most likely not going to die. I think they've kind of already confirmed that for us a little bit. So speaking of the Mechagon dungeon and that whole area, that's kind of the next thing here. They told us about Mechagon. Mechagon sounds a lot more interesting, I think, than Nazjatar in terms of the mechanics. I think Nazjatar is going to be cool because it's a zone we've been wanting to get to for a long time, but I do definitely think that the mechanics behind Mechagon sound a lot more interesting.
Mic off. Mic on.
Ah, can't catch any of these guys. There's like so many people over here. So Mechagon, we're going to be helping the Rust Bolt faction, and we're fighting against some other faction. I can't remember, but basically we are helping the faction of gnomes that don't want to become fully robot, I guess, or fully mechanical. And Mechagon is kind of ruled by King Mechanome, I think is his name, and he basically wants everybody to become a full Mechanome. And basically the more mechanical parts you have, like the higher your standing is within the Mechagon area. So we're helping the rebels and the outcasts. And along the way, we're going to get to do quite a lot of interesting things. So there are going to be projects scattered around the island, and those are going to help you to defeat things better. One of the examples they gave is maybe there's going to be this like big boss monster or something similar. And man, come on, my tab targeting is not working there. There's going to be a boss monster or something similar. And next to that boss monster, there would be these like 2 flamethrower cannons or turrets or whatever. And what you could do is you can contribute scrap and stuff like that you got from questing in the zone and killing enemies to help repair those turrets. And that's something you could do as like as a community. Everybody in the zone can essentially contribute to that stuff. And if you activate it, then when you go to fight that enemy, you would have those 2 flame turrets rebuilt to help you fight against that boss.
Mic off. Mic on.
I know you're going to hear that mic on, mic off, but like I said, I'm rusty with the streaming here. My voice is cracking. Alright, that's done. So while I think the idea of having these projects scattered around the island is pretty interesting, I also think that it's not super creative. It's not anything particularly innovative. It sounds kind of like the war effort, where, hey guys, collect these resources, fill this bar to get this thing. And, I mean, I appreciate what they're trying to do, but I just feel like they could have done a heck of a lot better. They could have come up with something more interesting. And that's not the only thing that's happening with Mechagon. There's more stuff for us to check out. So, for example here, let's see. 3 thematic visitors will show up to Mechagon every day, changing the spawning of the zone and providing a daily quest each. So, it sounds like, to me, it sounds like they're trying to pitch this procedurally sort of generated random element as something super awesome and something to be really excited about. But we have already seen that if the content that is being randomly generated is not interesting, then it really doesn't matter if that content was randomly generated or not. And what I mean is we have island expeditions, right? If you don't like island expeditions, then it doesn't matter whether they're the same every time you go in or whether they're random. So here they're talking about having these 3 different thematic visitors that come in and change up the zone every day. Well, that's nice. I appreciate the effort there, but if the zone itself isn't fun, if the activities to do in the zone aren't fun, then it doesn't matter if stuff is random or not. And from what I'm seeing in Mechagon, it looks like they're trying some new open world content, but I think that the open world content that they're trying to do doesn't sound super interesting. I think that right now the majority of it still sounds a lot like fill this bar full of resources to get this thing to happen, or do this world quest, but hey, this time the world quest is a little bit different than the ones you're used to. So I don't think, based on what we've seen, I don't think we're getting anything like world events in Guild Wars 2, where things like randomly spawn, and you know, there are these big bosses that come out. I don't think we're getting anything like that. It doesn't particularly sound like that, and that's kind of what I was hoping for. Was something along those lines. Okay, where is... I gotta kill Severus Snake and Lifter Matchlock. I think one of them spawns down here. Yeah, there's the Lifter. So we gotta wait for him to spawn again. Alright, so in Mechagon, most of the content is find at your own pace, so here we go, here's the Lifter. That's the guy we want. Let's go Living Bomb on him, let's drop the Meteor, we're gonna go Combustion here, get ourselves some buffs, just gonna nuke these guys down. So one thing I hate about this particular ship is these guys just spawn over and over again. Okay, where is the last guy we need? Is he up top? I think he's up top. Let's go up and find out. So they're talking about all this sort of like Tinkerer themed stuff you're going to be able to do. Yep, there we go. That's what we need. So repairing a crazy robot, rebuild a mechanical cat, and then they were talking about, well, maybe you can rebuild this cat, and then you go out and you find different color schemes for it, and I'm like, oh wow, you know, a purple cat, a green cat, a blue cat. Yeah, I just, you know, it's, I appreciate that they're trying, but I think maybe it's too late in the expansion and they can't really dedicate time to building entirely new systems. And if that's the case, I get that. I do appreciate that they're trying to do some different stuff. And I think just the volume of content that we're getting in 8.2 is going to be pretty good. So hopefully Mechagon looks pretty interesting. At this point, I think after seeing what they've done with from Legion to BFA, it's really hard to not look at a piece of content and strip away all of the pretty paint and really see like what the core issue is. You know, after BFA came out, you know, we had the World Quest system, and it was similar to what we had in Legion, and because of that, you know, it was passed off as like, oh, new World Quest in a new zone, but at the end of the day, it was just the same stuff we've been doing before with different art assets, and the art assets were great, but you know, doing that content was really repetitive and not enjoyable to a large portion of the player base. So I think some of this stuff is probably going to be pretty cool. My main thing is I'm not really into the Gnome, Tinkerer, Mechagon theme overall, so it doesn't do a lot for me thematically, but if you enjoy that, I think you'll enjoy this. I think, you know, randomly finding a robot cat and finding paint colors for it and stuff like that would be pretty cool. Mechagon's supposed to have the Timeless Isle style rares as well. That is something I do like. So for me, that's content I'll enjoy. I'll enjoy going to these two islands and trying to farm the rares for mounts, essentially. I mean, that's what it's going to be. And I didn't turn that in because I'm a dummy. I wasn't paying attention. Alright, let's go turn it in. That should get me a level.
Mic off. Mic on.
And then also the last sort of big thing for Mechagon was Pascal the robot. He's this big robot that kind of it gives you it's not a new profession in the traditional sense, but it's kind of like a NPC you can walk up to and do profession style stuff. So for example, you're able to build like grenades, you can build power packs, repair packs, radio receivers, a bunch of like kooky tinker engineer type stuff. And you're gonna build up this robot, unlock new recipes, and then you can spin the scrap and spare parts and things on different items that you can use to help you around the zone. So that's kind of cool, that's kind of interesting. But like I said, at the end of the day, the content of the zone itself has to be engaging and interesting. And if it's still stuff that's, kill 10 mechanomes or, that kind of stuff, I don't think that having all these extra layers on top will really make that engaging. So we'll have to see. We don't have a whole lot of specifics about exactly how the content's supposed to play out on Mechagon, but who knows? PTR comes out Tuesday, so hopefully we'll be able to check out a good amount of the content then. Something I did think was kind of interesting is that there is a unique trinket from Mechagon. So they have this trinket, and essentially this trinket has slots. Like, think of it as kind of having gem slots, except instead of gems, you put in punch cards. And so you're able to collect yellow, red, and blue punch cards. And once you have collected one, you can put it into its appropriate slot. So the trinket has a yellow, blue, and red punch card slot for each of the colors. And there are, just in the example they gave, there are 3 different yellow punch cards, 3 different blue ones, and 3 different red ones. And as you collect these, you can slot them into and out of the trinket and customize the effects of the trinket. So the example that they have here, one of them, like the yellow punch card, seems to give you secondary stats. The red punch card gives you like your chance on hit and your use style effects. And then it looks like the blue punch card gives you an equip effect. So some kind of passive that happens just from you equipping the trinket itself. And you get to mix and match those effects so that you can kind of create your own custom trinket. I thought that was really cool. I think that's an interesting, cool way to do gear. And I think that's going to be a fun trinket to get. I like that. The effects aren't like amazing, but I do like, especially the blue punch cards have some particularly interesting effects. So the blue punch cards do things like increase your lung capacity by 1,000%, or track nearby mechanical creatures. Like it's fairly cool stuff. Let's see. Well, I guess I'm gonna go to Stormwind. So yeah, the customizable trinket looks pretty good. The Mechagon dungeon, that's a 8-boss dungeon. That culminating in a fight with King Mechagon. That looks pretty interesting. I'm going to skip the Heart of Azeroth and talk about that last. So another thing that I thought was really cool is mount equipment. So this is something that they announced. Now, when you open up your mount page, down here in the corner, there's going to be a spot where you can equip a piece of mount gear or mount equipment. And that mount equipment is going to give all your mounts some sort of a passive bonus. And the reason they were doing this is because we're getting introduced to Nazjatar. It's a watery zone, and they figured that everybody would be running around on water striders, and that's kind of boring. And so they kind of wanted to give you the ability to not have to choose to ride a water strider and instead pick a mount of your choice. So this mount equipment does stuff like gives all of your mounts water walking. So you can only equip one equipment at a time. But if you have that slotted in there, then all your mounts have water walking. And that's pretty sweet. Then they have another one they gave it as an example, prevents you from being dazed when you're mounted. And then the last example they had was giving you a parachute when you jump from too high of a point. Which I think that one is really cool in particular because you can mount and then you could just run off a cliff in the direction of where you want to go like you would with a goblin glider, and you would get that parachute and be able to float down. So that's really cool. That's also something, if these are, I don't remember if you have to be max level for them. I don't think you do, but if you don't have to be, then having that parachute is going to be really good for leveling alt characters. There, especially on the Horde side, there's a lot of places when you're leveling up in Zuldazar where being able to just jump off a cliff and take a parachute is a pretty big deal. So I think that one will be really, really cool for leveling. The water walking will be nice if you're in a zone that has a ton of water, like Coltiris, for example. And the prevention from dazed is going to be nice too, because sometimes I just take that on tank classes, or I take the tank spec of a class and level with that, or do world quests with that just because you don't get dazed. So now that's going to give you the option to play something that isn't a tank spec and not have to worry about getting dazed either. So I really like the concept of mount equipment. Alright, let's see here. I'm playing Outlaw. I got a couple of pairs of boots. 78% upgrade for Outlaw. What do we got over here? Not a whole lot of anything. Definitely no boots. So let's go and get a pair of boots. Oh, we got one right next to us. Gotta kill some ash claws. Alright, let's do it. See, this is where I wish I had a water strider. Actually, I don't, because I like using my my underwater mounts. Alright, so we are going over here. They talked about Battle for Azeroth Season 3, so obviously that's going to come with a gear score update and all the usual season stuff. That's right, I have ambush, okay. It's like trying to remember, what ability do I have? And do we roll the bones? I don't think so. So they also revealed new loot. So there's a Mechano wheel mount, which I have to admit looks pretty cool. I think it looks really sweet. There's a crab mount, which we saw at BlizzCon, and that's coming as well. They didn't say whether that was going to be like a... Yeah, I meant to ambush there, not roll the bones. They didn't say whether the crab mount was going to be from like the raid or whether it was going to be from, you know, like an island expedition. It's cool enough that I would imagine that they would save it for a raid, but I could be wrong. I really should be using roll the bones. Yeah, I'll use it next. Yay, spiders. There's a Snapdragon mount, which is a Naga unit from Warcraft 3. There's a customizable Mechano cat, which I believe is a pet. I think it might have said that it was a mount, but I think it's a pet. So once again, this is like, it's cool cosmetic stuff, but you know, cool cosmetic stuff is not going to make BFA better in terms of gameplay. So I'm hoping that, you know, the cool cosmetic stuff is going to be icing on the cake of just an overall better experience. I gotta kill all these bears and make some shoes. Alright, some other stuff before we talk about the Heart of Azeroth. So the war campaign is continuing on. We're going to find out what happened to Bane, which is fine. I actually haven't done much of the war campaign because I've been busy leveling characters. I've been keeping up with what's going on, like kind of spoiling it for myself. So I do kind of know where we're at, but it'll be interesting to see what's going on with that, I think. I think this is the point where we're finally kind of getting to the make or break point of the war campaign for the Horde in particular. We've got the Tauren and Gnome Heritage Armor coming. How many more bears I gotta kill? 2. Okay. Let's see. Bear. I knew that was gonna happen. Don't I have... Yeah, I've got killing spree. Ooh, something's doing a lot of damage to me. Heroic war fronts are coming. Why anybody would want to do war fronts, I don't know, but the heroic aspect should spice them up. It sounds like they're trying to add a lot of elements to make them significantly different than the base level war fronts. So stuff like the AI is supposed to push at like your weak points. So if you have a bunch of units in one lane, then they're supposed to go towards that lane and kind of push and make you decide whether you want to counter that push or whether you want to, you know, lose that facility or that base so that you can keep pushing in a different direction. You know, I don't know. It sounds fine. Alright. That should be a pretty good upgrade. Alright, what's next? So we got boots, we got pants, we got an 83% upgrade, 84% upgrade, anything over on Zandalar, no pants. So let's get some pants here. We've got these, which are pretty close by. Yeah, we'll go for this one here, Blood Maw. I like the stuff where you only have to kill like one thing. Saves a heck of a lot of time. Pathfinder Part 2, so flying is coming, but obviously they have to gate that behind another achievement, so you're going to be able to earn that, but the nice thing is that they did say that you were going to be able to fly in Nazjatar and Mechagon, so no crazy zones where you're not allowed to fly like we had in Legion with Argus. So that is a nice perk. Me, personally, I never bother with the Pathfinder achievements because I hate rep grinds. So I'm probably out of luck. Let's see. I do have this one. Good. There's a Strathholm pet battle dungeon. I haven't done any of those before, so hopefully I can get my wife, who is a pet battle monster, to maybe show off that dungeon or get me into pet dungeons at some point. I don't know if I'll ever get around to it because I'm always busy leveling characters and trying to make guides. So, David, how's it going? Hey, I got a few people in the stream now chatting. Awesome. What do you think of the mount armor and enhancements in 8.2? Shar, hello and welcome back. Yes, thank you. I'm finally able to stream again, so that's wonderful. If it takes me a minute to reply to your comments, it's because I'm like alt-tabbing over here to look at this Wowhead article. So briefly, this will be, I'll put this stream up on the channel so you can go back and hear full thoughts, but briefly, I think the mount enhancements in 8.2 are awesome. I really like those. I think they're fantastic. And as far as the armor enhancement goes, if you're talking about the Heart of Azeroth, I haven't talked about that yet. I'm saving it for last. As far as other armor sort of enhancements goes, I talked for a little bit already about how I do think that the customizable trinket that you can get in Mechagon is pretty cool. I like the concept of that. Man, there's a lot of crap out here. Blood Maw. Okay, I need to find a group for this guy. Sign me up. Okay. Sign me up. Or you, I don't care. Nope. There we go. Oh. Almost dead. Let's roll bones. Leah Kaufman, welcome back, new subscriber. I was going to say, I have not seen you before. So welcome to the stream. I appreciate people tuning in, I really do. Gets lonely when you're here by yourself. Alright, let's get out of this group. So let's see. Pathfinder Part 2, Pet Battle Dungeon, World Events Revamp. Alright. World events will be receiving revamps in Rise of Ashara. Brewfest, for instance, is receiving pretzel-themed hats and a pretzel-eating competition. Okay, I'm not that excited about that. So, oh no, I'm PvP. Oh no. Melt into the shadows, rogue. Alright, let me find my next piece of gear real quick. Alright, so we got the boots, we got the pants, we got some wrists here. Let's see. 34% upgrade versus a 48% upgrade. And over in Zandalar, we have a 34% upgrade. 34. Alright, so we're going to go for the 48% upgrade. Which, okay, it's got 48 minutes left, so plenty of time. Wish this PvP would wear off. Oh well. Or am I in war mode on this guy? Yes, I am. Okay. Never mind. I'm just in war mode. I forgot I was still in war mode from leveling this guy. Alright, so World Events Revamp. I wish that was a World Quest revamp. I think most of us do. But it looks like they're going to start trying to update a lot of the holidays to match the current quality of the events that they put out, because a lot of them are really outdated at this point. And they haven't received updates in years. So it looks like they're starting with Brewfest, which is interesting because Brewfest is normally September or October, right? I know it's Oktoberfest, but technically I think Oktoberfest starts in like September in Germany, if I'm remembering correctly. So I think that puts the timeline of patch 8.2 pretty far out. Alright, let's go over here. Let's see. It said you'll be able to add armor to your mount and abilities to them, like water walking to a mount with the right enhancements. Yep, I think that's really cool. So like a super quick recap on that. I think the water walking is obviously cool. I never wanted to rep grind to get the water strider, so I like this option better. I think the not being dazed is cool because it means that You don't have to play a tank spec when you're doing world quests if you want to avoid being dazed, so that's awesome. And I think that the parachute will be really good for leveling if you can use it. If you don't have to be max level to use these things, which I don't think you do, but don't quote me on that. You might have to be max level to get them. I don't know. They didn't give all the details. But I think the parachute one would be really good for leveling. And it'll just be good for people who don't do Pathfinder and get flying, like me. Because then I can just jump off cliffs and glide places instead. So yeah, that's a quick recap on that. Adam Smith, hey, welcome to the stream. Let's see, watched our Druid DK tanking guides recently, really helpful. Really like the format you have for going through everything. I know, but that Druid guide was so long. I don't mind putting out long videos because I do the timestamps and you can just skip to what you want to watch. And I like to be thorough, but I was cringing. I was cringing when I saw the length of that Druid video. I was like, oh no. It's too long. Alright, Mug. Is that who I'm killing? Yeah, okay. We could definitely solo him. He doesn't have 1,000,000 health like that other guy. Mug. Well, let me refresh my brain here. Killing Spree. I don't care about Blade Flurry. I might use Adrenaline Rush. I've got Riposte and Crimson Vial. And that's pretty much all I got going for me. Okay. Let's get in here and we are going to roll the bones, and we got our super awesome shark fin buff. No, and I just replaced it because I'm a scrub. Alright, let's try to get it again. Okay, we got it again. Good, that's what I want. So now, boom. That does a ton of damage, and I don't even need to Killing Spree. Okay, good. Good. Alright, what are we up to now? 281. Whoop. Please don't kill me, Paladin. One thing I like about the rogue, there's a lot of ways to run away. Alright, 284. What's the next piece we're going after here? Pants, wrist wraps, trinket. I think we definitely want to get that trinket. Yes. And that is over in Drustvar. I don't think I have the flight path out over there, so that would probably be a pain in the butt. Let's see. We'll go do this Tide Sage. Is there an easy way to get over to him? Tide Sage. Oh, okay. This is the guy. I think you go up through the mountains here to get to him. Oh, well, that's where I'm going to head. That's where I'm going to head for now. Alright. Saw the changes to the Dark Moon Fair and people fishing up fish heads for cosplay. Yeah, the fish heads are pretty hilarious. I also think it's weird that they took the time to add in a roller coaster to the Dark Moon Fair. I did not go and check out the Dark Moon Fair yet, the updates. I've been really engaged in trying to find a new job, and I actually just accepted a job offer today for a really sweet job with nice benefits and all that kind of good stuff. So hopefully that's going to all kind of sort itself out and I can have a steadier stream of content. Let's see. Do I need to go up this mountain? Kind of looks like I do. Alright, so was there anything else? Epic Battlegrounds. Ashran got put back in there. Yada, yada, yada. So that covers... Although some of you missed some of it, and that's fine. That covers pretty much everything in 8.2 except for the Heart of Azeroth. So that is what I'm going to talk about next. And I can't really say that my thoughts are super positive. Alright, how do I get to this guy? I do not know where I'm going. Okay, so Heart of Azeroth. So they're obviously changing things up. And they're not getting rid of Azerite armor, but they are sort of making it kind of irrelevant. From what I understand, they're going to be making it so that you don't need artifact power for the artifact armor starting in 8.2. Alright, where's this guy at? Okay. So it sounds like you're basically going to be able to get a piece of gear and immediately use all the different skills and stuff on it. They didn't say anything about adding new stuff to the artifact armor, so I think the traits that we currently have are the ones we're just kind of stuck with. And that's fine, I guess. We've got better traits than we started out with at the beginning of BFA. I don't think they're all necessarily great, but it's better than nothing. Better than getting nothing, you know? Man, this guy's pretty stubborn, huh? Alright, got some shoulders. No, leave me alone, Death Knight. So that's kind of what's going on with the Azerite armor itself. So what they're doing now is they're changing the Heart of Azeroth, and they're making the Heart of Azeroth into what looks like old glyphs. And if you're around for glyphs, then I mean you'll obviously know what I'm talking about. But if you weren't, then essentially what glyphs did is you had major glyphs and minor glyphs. And major glyphs would change something pretty significantly regarding your character. It might give you like a new ability, it might modify an existing ability, and then minor glyphs would give you like a cosmetic change to an ability, or maybe give you like a nice utility ability that doesn't really affect combat. So for example, rogues, I can't remember if it was a major or minor glyph, but they had one where when you use sprint you could run on water. So that was, I think that was a minor one, because the major ones I think had, you know, bigger impact. And it looks like that's basically what they're doing with the new Heart of Azeroth system. They've got it set up where, and I'm going to pull up a picture here so that I get this right, if I can find one. Let's see, Heart of Azeroth, yeah. So they've got it set up where you have one golden essence, I think is what they're calling them, essences. And this one golden essence, when you put... Okay, so it's a golden ring, you put an essence into it. When you put the essence into the ring, it gives you a active ability, and it gives you a passive effect as well. Then you can unlock 2 more rings, and those 2 rings, you could put essences into those as well, but you only get the minor, like, passive benefits. This sounds really boring to me. I'm hoping that throughout the rest of the expansion, they're going to expand upon it. And by doing so, you're going to have more slots to put active abilities into. Because right now, it seems like if the solution to the Azerite armor problem is to basically just say, hey, here's one cool active ability, that's really, really lame. And the thing about that active ability and all these essences in general is they don't look like they're class or spec specific. It looks like they're pretty generic, and they're not. It doesn't look like there are a whole lot of them. You know what I mean? Like, if there's 20 of them, there's only 20 of them. There's not like 20 for each class, or even like 3 for each, like 1 for each spec plus some neutral ones. So I kind of worry about the diversity and how things are going to feel from class to class, just in terms of if everybody is using the one most powerful active ability, or if there's one particular ability that just, this is the one you have to use for the spec in order to play it well, then it's not going to make this an interesting decision. I think the idea of having this one active ability and then, giving yourself some different passives in concept it's a decent enough idea, but I feel like currently with what they showed, it's way too limited. I think in the old glyph system, I think you could have like 3 major traits and 3 minor traits or something like that. And the glyphs that they had available, they made that interesting. There was stuff that I would pick that wasn't necessarily the best glyph for that particular class, but because of the way I played the game, it gave me some sort of utility that I really liked having, when I was out in the open world or something like that. So I just feel like right now, with 1 active ability and 2 slotted passives, and the fact that there's not any sort of diversity between classes and specs, and these appear to be all like pretty generic and shared among all the different classes and specs, I'm just worried that it's nowhere even close to enough to make a big difference. I'll have to see, but that's my major concern. Alright, doesn't look like I can help here, so I'm going to chill out in the back for a minute. So, let's see. Congrats on the new job. I'm working on getting one myself. Thanks. What do you do now? What are you trying to get a job in? If you don't mind me asking. If you want to tell. So each of these essences you can get on the Heart of Azeroth also comes in different rarities. So there's, you've got your green, blue, purple, and orange, and as you progress through the different rarities, the abilities can change and morph. And I think that's interesting. My main concern is that I think if it works like a Diablo rune system, which I've mentioned this many times before when I talked about Azerite traits, if, say, the blue essence, the rare one, is not necessarily just strictly better in terms of stats compared to the uncommon green one, but it just changes the way the ability functions, but you can still kind of compare the two. That's a really cool system, I think, if that's something that you could actually do. Let's get in here and kill this guy. Alright. But if it's a case where your uncommon essence is just inferior to the rare essence, and then your rare essence is inferior to the epic essence, then I don't like that system quite as much, because even if the ability changes somehow because of the rarity, maybe it gets more complex or has additional effects, it still doesn't give you that choice, right? You obviously want to pick the best one, the one that's going to do the most damage or the most healing or the most damage mitigation. And how the ability functions becomes less important, compared to just the overall stats in general. Now, the cool thing is the legendary one, the legendary version of the essence that you can get, is purely cosmetic. and I think that's pretty cool. I think having a purely cosmetic effect on a legendary is pretty awesome. It's the kind of thing that I probably will never get unless I just happen to be lucky, because I'm on a bunch of different characters, and I usually don't farm enough on one character to get legendary stuff to drop very often. I do towards the end of the expansion when I'm usually only playing like 2 to 4 characters by the end of the expansion. But I do think that's relatively cool. And I was looking at some of the essences that they showed off, and I didn't find many of the abilities to be super interesting. They seemed like a lot of the stuff that we've seen before, and that was a little bit disappointing to me. Stuff like, hey, absorb a bunch of damage and then reflect it back, or that kind of stuff. I'm going to pull up the Wowhead article here. I'll link it in the chat as well. This has all of the major and minor essences that we've seen so far, and you can check that out. So looking at the first one here, tanking, this is a tanking talent. So like I said, it's not specific to class. They have some spec specific ones, but only in a broad sense, meaning they have some that are specific to tanking specs and healing specs and damaging specs. But here's one, Aegis of the Deep. It's an instant 1.5 minute cooldown. The major power, so this is what you would get if you slot it into that primary ring. The elements protect you, reducing the damage you take from each attack by 2,000 for 10 seconds. While active, heal for 2,715 health when damaged. That's boring. I mean, that's not at all interesting to me. That's the epic quality one. Now, the minor power that you get, which you also get the minor power if you slot it in. You get the minor power in whatever slot you put it in. You gain 113 versatility for each enemy within 10 yards, up to 565 versatility. Additionally, you heal for 1,200 health every 4 seconds for each stack of Aegis of the Deep on you. That's also really boring to me. I don't know. I just don't find that interesting at all. It's like they took some of the random proc bad Azerite traits and they said, you know what? These are cool now because you get to push a button and decide when to activate them. And I don't find that interesting at all. I didn't find these interesting as random procs on the original Azerite gear, and I don't think that an effect like that is super interesting just because now I get to push the button and determine when it happens. It does make it better than it being random. It's nice to have that extra control. I don't know if I can get over here to get that flask, so I'm thinking it might just be better to pop over to Zandalar, because there's a trinket here I can get up in Zuldazar. Yeah, let's see what we can do over here. Looks like there's nothing in Vol'dun for me. There's a ring here. Alright, what do we got? 17% upgrade ring. And then that's definitely an upgrade on the trinket. I don't like unused effects, but that's fine. And then those are really nice too. Oh, this is... I hate getting up there. Okay, well, either way. Let's go. We'll head to Nazmir first, I think. Just a receptionist right now. In grad school for my master's in education, so you can start teaching at community colleges. That's cool. What do you want to teach? And there's nothing wrong with being a receptionist if it pays the bills, so believe me. I've been working retail for years now, and I'm just sick of it. So that was mainly what I was trying to do there, is get out of retail. Alright, we'll go to Nazmir first. So let's look at another one here. Burning Embrace. 2-minute cooldown. Your major power is you burn enemies with the essence of your own life, sacrificing 10% of your max health to deal fire damage to all nearby enemies equal to that amount. Heal for 10% of your maximum health per enemy hit, up to a maximum of 50% maximum health. So that's kind of interesting. That kind of makes me think of the Demon Hunter ability. Like pulse fire out around you, except for this, you sacrifice some of your health and then you heal. That's actually a more of a interesting ability, I think, compared to the last one. The last one probably has like some statistical value, I would imagine. You know, just stacking all that versatility is probably good for at least one tank spec, I would imagine. But I think this one, the fire one, is just cooler from a mechanical perspective. Alright, am I losing my mind? Yes, I am losing my mind. Because apparently I can't see the Flight Master here. And I have no flight path. Good. Okay. Well, we were going to go down here and get this trinket. It looks like... yeah, let's just head to that. So we're trying to go... okay. Kind of down the river there. And then the minor power, infuse yourself with Burning Embrace, increasing your maximum health by 3,000 every 4 seconds, stacking up to 15 times. And it says this effect is lost if you fall below 35% health. So that is way more interesting, I think. Way more interesting than the last trait that we looked at. So, I don't know, it feels kind of hit or miss. Like I said, my main thing with the Heart of Azeroth here is I don't think that giving one active ability is going to be enough to change up the gameplay. And I think that the big thing that Battle for Azeroth suffers from right now, besides just some uninteresting content, is the classes are kind of boring. I mean, like once you've kind of gotten the core rotation, and once you've got all the stuff that I kind of try to cover in my guides down, there's not like a whole lot that you can do to really make the character feel like your own character. It just feels like, okay, I'm playing generic rogue, I'm playing generic paladin, you know, generic priest. And that's where I feel like BFA is lacking, and I don't think that the Heart of Azeroth, with one active ability, when all these essences are pretty much shared between all the classes, is going to do enough to spice things up. I mean, I hope that I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. Alright, which way do I want to go here? I guess I want to go this way. Stealth underwater. Nah, it's probably not even worth it. Just gotta go fast. Gotta go fast. Okay, there is a bridge, looks like, over here. That is where we need to go. That is a big troll. Holy crap. I feel like maybe this is not quite where I want to be. Yeah, not quite. Can I get over there? Is that gonna... oh, that's gonna be way up top, I bet. Alright, well. Let's see if we can get through here. See if this actually leads to somewhere that we want to be. Good enough for me. So what do you guys think? If you've checked out the 8.2 stuff, do you have any thoughts? Blood Bulge, a rare. You know what? Let's kill him. Probably not going to drop anything cool, but you never know. I'm sitting here like, why is his health not going down? I bet he is... Yeah, he's definitely draining my health. Yeah, okay, that Blood Feast ability. I'm gonna try to interrupt that if I can. What do I have here? I could do Blind next. 22 artifact power for the Heart of Azeroth. I'm sorry, I can't. I can't with that. That's so hilarious. Went through all that effort for 22 Heart of Azeroth power. Heart of Azeroth. Jeez. Well, that's pretty much all my thoughts on 8.2. I think if I had to give like an overview, I would say that I am primarily positive in terms of just the amount of content that's coming in 8.2. I think the quantity of content is going to be pretty significant. But I'm kind of concerned about the quality of the content, and I think that a lot of what they're trying to do right now is what Blizzard has been doing for a long time, which is taking stuff that they've done before and putting a new coat of paint on it. I do like a couple of the neat little convenience features, like the mount customizations. I like the idea of the customizable trinket. Anything that gives you some agency, like some player agency, I think is really good. And I'm interested to see what they do with Mechagon. And whether or not the content there is as interesting as they say it's going to be. Alright, man, you got like 20 seconds. I'm starting my own group. Can't solo these 1.2 million guys yet. Yes, come along. Somebody else. Hodel Lozennik. Look, you guys are tanky. Why don't you attack? No? Nobody? Got a Unholy DK and a Fury Warrior. Here comes another rogue. We need a tank or a healer. So yeah, as far as what's coming up on the channel, now that I've actually found a job and can kind of lay off the whole millions of applications and interviews stuff. Okay. Well, now it's not even tagged us. So, go us, I guess. I guess we're just gonna kill the Horde character. I'm fine with this. That's what we needed to do. Oh yeah, as far as what's coming up on the channel, now that I should have a little bit more time, kind of free time back, and don't have to focus so much on finding a job, I'm going to finish up the, or start and finish the Paladin tanking guide. That's coming up next. And then I'm working on getting all of the healers up to max level. So that's pretty much what's on the table for me. Working on Paladin guide, and then working on healer guides as far as class guides go. I've gotten into, I mentioned this before in a couple of videos, I got into a program where I can get keys from companies for games, and I don't technically have to do anything in response to getting those keys, but for the games that are good, I'm going to put out some little review videos and stuff like that. What are we at now? Almost at 300. Okay. I'm gonna get out of here because I feel like that monk's gonna come back and be pretty angry that he got killed twice. And then I also plan on doing guides that aren't class guides. So I plan on doing some more add-on guides. I'm gonna try to do weak aura guides. When you spend combo points on Roll the Bones, your next 10 Sinister Strikes will do 89 additional damage per combo point spent. Sure. So I need to replace my gloves, it looks like. Gloves are the garbage piece of gear that I have. Gloves and rings. Are there any gloves or rings? Got wrist, we got waist. Oh, that's a pretty big upgrade. I'm not going all the way over there. No way. There is a ring back in Nazmir. 13 minutes left. Slave Venom Jaw. Do I have a Goblin Glider? That is a good question. I don't think I do. I've got a goat's tote. Whatever that is. Yep, I think I have no goblin gliders, but I think I can just run off of here. See, this is where having that nice mount upgrade where you get a parachute would be super awesome. That is the direction I want to go, right? Yes, like that way. Alright, let's do it. Oh, it's gonna be so close. Whoo! Super close. Alright, not bad though. What add-ons do I use? So I have quite a few add-ons. If you have a specific one that you're wondering about, I'd be happy to tell you about it. I do have a video on my channel that covers all the add-ons that I'm using in my UI, which you can check out if you want like a comprehensive overview. But if there's a particular one that, you know, is catching your eye, I can definitely tell you about that one. And we're gonna just finish. Alright. And this is where it would be nice to to get that nice no dazed mount equipment. I wonder if you're going to be able to like hot swap them out, or if it's going to be a thing where you have to like go back to a capital city or something, or if they're going to be consumables, so you have to like carry stacks of them. They didn't really say whether or not they're going to be like profession items crafted. I think it's stuff that you can just earn in game. Like I don't think they have to be crafted. It didn't sound like that. Also, Golden Deagle, welcome to the stream. Thanks for checking it out. And I think I'm going to probably grab this item, and that is going to probably wrap up the stream for the evening, just because I have work and a busy weekend coming up. And I just kind of wanted to hop on here and be like, hey guys, hello, I'm streaming, here I am, get back into the groove a little bit. Definitely rusty. What are you trying to do? Oh, he didn't want me to attack him. I'm not going to attack you, dude. You do your thing, I'll do my thing. Well, I got 10 minutes left. Yeah, I'll make it in time. Unless I just start getting ganked like crazy. I am planning on doing a stream on Monday for the EU portion of the viewership. It'll be around 2 p.m. Central Time. Right now it's almost 10 p.m. Central Time, if you need a frame of reference for that. So if you are around, you want to tune into that stream, you can. Streams will get better as I get back into the groove. Oh, he's almost dead. Alright, we'll wait for him to respawn. And once I am officially at my new job, I will probably get a streaming schedule going. I don't like to do a whole lot of live streaming. I'd rather focus on actual content, like structured, edited content. But I do kind of like to use streaming as a way to chat with people and kind of get some of my opinions out there on what's going on with World of Warcraft and other topics in the gaming industry without having to make like a dedicated specific video for it. So that's usually what I tend to do as far as live streams goes. I wouldn't expect to see a whole ton of them here on YouTube unless people just really enjoy them. Probably 1 or 2 at most a week, if that. Might be 1 every other week. Well, let's see if this druid comes back. I mean, I know he knows I'm around. Alright, let's roll the bones. Let's go ahead and get some of that going. And we do not have the shark fin buff, so let's go ahead and roll the bones again. Didn't get it. Killing spree. Shouldn't have wasted that. Okay. I think. Ooh. Should have. That guy had a nice like bleed or something on me there. What was it? Let's see. Swamp gas. Damage you for 2,400, 2,400. Okay, I think maybe I was standing in the swamp gas and I just couldn't see it. Like, the visual effect's not coming through very well for me here. Try again. Alright, Venom Jaw. What do I have to help me kill you faster? Man, you're not gonna make it, Hunter. You're not gonna make it. And if you are gonna make it, I'll make sure you don't make it. Actually, maybe I won't. I don't really want to go over there. Ugh. Yeah, it's that swamp gas. So I probably need to just pull him over here, and that'll do the trick. Get him out of the swamp gas. Yeah, no thanks. I will hang out and wait. Boop. I think I can... Yeah, I can just pull him back here as well. That'll work. Yeah, the prominent add-ons that you're seeing me use, this one here is OPie or Circle Pie. Go away, roaches. What else do I have? Try to think what are the major ones here. Speedy Auto Loot is nice. The bag add-on I'm using is Add Bags. I kind of don't like it as much as I did when I initially installed it. Aurora is the one that makes my windows like the black color. This is basic minimap. Let's see, what else? Kaliel's tracker is the quest tracker here. Immersion is what gets rid of a lot of the blizzard windows. I'm just gonna come over here, dude. So I don't have to deal with that dot. Oh yeah, that's what it was. Okay. Are you gonna let me have this, bro? Or are you gonna come try to kill me? Let's roll the bones. Yeah, he has some kind of just cloak of shadows and get that off there. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I just had to avoid that gas and the gas that came out of his mouth. Alright, back we go to the harbor. Cool. So I think that is going to get me to 300, which is where I wanted to be on this character. Not quite sure what I'm doing with DPS guides yet. But having the characters at 300 will definitely help. Alright. And this is an upgrade over that one. 297. Still didn't do it. Not quite there. Alright, you know what? I can't end this stream without hitting 300, so we're going to the ultimate loot drop, also known as the auction house. I think if I buy myself a pair of gloves, that'll put me at 300. I know I could wait for a world quest, but I don't feel like it. So I'm gonna cheat. Pew. Alright, let's go see if there is a nice pair of 310s or 315s or something on the auction house. Alright, we want armor, we want leather, we want leather hands, we want usable stuff, we want 120. Do it! And we just want something cheap. No, those are 226. 310s. Will that do it? Is there anything... Oh, okay. Spend a little bit more and get some 340s. 145, 145, 143. Let's do it. This is how I end the live stream. Buying gear to get myself to 300. Boom, 304. I could have saved a lot of time. Well, that's all. That's all right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning into this stream. I definitely appreciate it. I know this was like very last minute because I just started talking about it today. I am officially unbanned from streaming. If you want to know why I was banned from streaming in the first place, check the channel, go through the videos, and you're going to be looking for the one that says YouTube sucks, I made a mistake. It is, let's see, a little ways down the page, kind of green background. Yeah, I made a mistake, YouTube sucks. There's some good news in here. So that'll tell you why I got banned in the first place, if you want to know why. It was pretty stupid. But I'm unbanned, I'm back, live streaming. And yeah, so thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I hope everybody is enjoying the guides. I really appreciate all the support I've gotten on the channel over the past several months. If there's ever any questions that you have, I hope you know that you can just post them in the comments. It takes me a while sometimes, but as of right now, I do respond to every single comment that comes through. Occasionally it's just a like, but most of the time I try to say something and reply back and not be super generic. So if you ever have questions, or if there's ever a piece of content that you want to see, or something you'd like a guide for, just let me know. You can post up on the community page on the YouTube channel, or you can just drop it in a comment. And there's been plenty of times where people have asked for things, and I've made that the priority to get that done first, even if it wasn't necessarily something that I thought was going to bring a lot of traffic to the channel. So I'm here if you need help and if I'm able to help you. So appreciate it. Y'all have a good night, and I will see some of you hopefully on Monday. And if you're watching this later on YouTube, EU crowd, we're talking Monday, 2 p.m., and that is going to be April 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, I believe. April 15th. So, all right. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good night. As always, have fun in whatever it is you're doing, and I'll see you on the next video.